Hello ReZero fans, welcome back to another video on the channel. And yes, judging by what I'm wearing, the tracksuit, you know what kind of video it is, you know what kind of day has passed. ReZero Wednesday. And honestly, I was gonna say I really enjoyed this episode, but I enjoy every single episode, so it wouldn't really matter me saying that. This episode wasn't really like the past two episodes we've had, where it was a lot of dark gore fights. It was more like a chill episode, more like the calm before the storm. However, it gave us new knowledge and insight into the story, and it was a chill episode, and I did enjoy it. So pretty much in today's episode, we got to learn more about Shaula. We got to learn more about the Pleiades Tower. We got to know tiny bit about Flugel, the big mystery character in the whole ReZero world. Like, a lot of stuff isn't known about Flugel, but we kind of get an insight to his relationship that he had with Shaula, and we kind of just get to see like what it's like inside the Pleiades Tower overall. So yeah, I'm gonna stop waffling. We're gonna jump straight into the episode's contents, and yeah, let's do this. The episode begins within the Shadow Garden, where Betelgeuse and Regulus reside, and it's very clear these two don't get along at all. In fact, I don't think any of the Sin Archbishops like each other. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, if people don't know, Subaru is able to kind of take in witch factors, which is why what we're about to see in this scene is there's Betelgeuse, which gave him the witch factor in order to use invisible providence. Regulus Cornelius, he's there for a reason. It's not yet explained why, but it's very obvious that he's now been given Subaru a witch factor, which I will get explained. Kind of a spoiler there, but I guess the scene overall makes sense why he's there in the Shadow Garden. He's clearly given Subaru a witch factor. What power Subaru's got will get explained. When it will get explained, I'm not sure. We will just have to wait and see. But that's kind of why these two are in the Shadow Garden. And yeah, they're arguing, man. They're arguing, and yeah, I don't know, it's kind of nice to see crazy Betelgeuse again, because you know what I mean. He has not been seen since, I was gonna say season 2, but that was more normal Goose before he went insane. I'm talking about insane inside Betelgeuse back in season 1. Yeah, we get to see him again. He's quarreling with Regulus here, and oh my god, we finally get to see Setella, the beautiful Setella. We get to see her again animated. It's very nice to see. But yeah, we finally get to see Setella animated again as she approaches Subaru in the Shadow Garden. She places her hands on his face and whispers the iconic line, "I love you." The scene switches to Subaru waking up quite startled, but calms down when he finds out he's been asleep on Amelia's lap, who spent 2 whole nights staying up watching over Subaru. Get me a girl like Amelia. Damn. Beatrice enters the carriage and brings Subaru out, where they are now inside the Pleiades watchtower after all the struggling my boy had went through in the past 2 episodes. Shaula tackles Subaru onto the ground and proceeds squeezing him with huge amounts of love as she calls Subaru her master, leaving a now awake Amelia quite jealous. Shaula seems very obsessed and loyal towards Subaru as she keeps referring to him as her master. The reason she thinks this is because, according to Shaula, Subaru has a rather strong similarity to Flugel, to the point where she quite literally thinks he's Flugel. But yeah, I was going to describe why she also thinks Subaru is Flugel when we get to the scene, but I might as well just explain it now, get over and done with. It's his smell. She describes Flugel's scent as quite disgusting, which is kind of weird. I don't know why. I think it's because of the witch's scent. I'm not sure. I think that's what it is. Like, the witch's scent to characters is kind of like this awful, disgusting smell. When we go back to season 1, why Ren was so hostile to Subaru was because he was emitting the witch's scent. And the scene where Subaru is in the forest with Ren, he asks Ren, "Do you smell the witch's scent on me?" And she goes, "Yeah. You revolt in it, you stink in it." And you know what I mean, the witch's scent is kind of like this revolting smell, but that's why Shaula also thinks Subaru is Flugel, and it's because of the strong scent on him, described as being quite disgusting and revolting. The group begin climbing the tower's stairs as Shaula says the Pleiades Watchtower is just a temporary name for the tower itself, and it's also a temporary role. It seems before Flugel disappeared, he gave Shaula a mission, and that was to keep all travellers away from the tower by any means necessary, including himself. But basically, Shaula was attacking Subaru and the group. You would think, if she thinks Subaru is her master, why was she trying to kill him in the desert? Well, that's because Flugel gave her orders, and that was to kill kill any travellers that try and get close to the tower, including himself. And if Flugel doesn't die by Shaula's attacks, it means Flugel is him, in a sense. But yeah, the Pleiades Tower is kind of like this sacred place, which Flugel wants to protect. Hence why he gave Shaula the mission to attack everyone, including himself, until she's sure that it's Flugel himself. And because of Subaru's return by death and being able to get over obstacles, this kind of certifies that Shaula thinks that, yeah, this must be Flugel, he's returned. But yeah, the tower's now served its purpose. The tower itself is now not just a place where Shaula just snipes motherfuckers. But yeah, it's kind of gone back to its original role, and that's where the Great Pleiades Library resides. Subaru and Ram enter the room where Rem and Patrichet are currently resting. The room is home to a spirit that is able to heal any physical injuries or illnesses. The spirit itself doesn't seem to have a will. Its main focus is to just heal. However, because Rem's circumstances are quite special and she neither is suffering from physical pain nor illnesses, Patrichet is the only one reaping the benefits of the spirit's healing. This doesn't stop Subaru's mission, however, because despite Rem not being able to be healed, the Great Pleiades Library may hold the answer that Subaru needs to wake Rem up. Subaru goes to regroup with the others as he leaves Ram to look after Rem and Patrichet. Beatrice tells Subaru that he should pretend to be Flugel as long as he can, as they don't know how Shaula will react if she finds out Subaru is not her master. Because Shaula is loyal to Flugel and takes his words very seriously, Subaru rewrites the mission given to Shaula about protecting the tower at any cost, and now tells her that she's not allowed to harm Subaru or his friends while they're here in the tower, which of course Shaula accepts. The group enter a room that's pale white but with a singular black slab in the centre. The room they are currently in is a room with an exam, in order to proceed into the library. Subaru touches the slab as it multiplies into multiple other slabs across the room. A voice speaks out, and the question Subaru must answer is, what was the name of the hero that got vanquished by Shaula? Where touching the current slab will allow them to pass. Touching the incorrect one, however, resets the monoliths to its present singular state, meaning that the question was failed. Subaru asks Shaula if Reed was the one Shaula vanquished, where Shaula reacts with a disgusted look at the name of Reed, calling him human scum and a privileged bully, especially a person that bullied Shaula himself. Only those people were most likely to answer the question. He basically tells the group, don't feel bad for not being able to answer it, because realistically, if you weren't from Subaru's old world, the chances of you answering it correctly were basically very slim. Like, you basically needed somebody with you from the other world, with information of the other world, I might say, in order to answer the question. And that's because the Shaula, the difference between the Shaulas is, it's not about the person Shaula in the room with the group, but the constellation Shaula. And pretty much, somehow, well, I'll get into this after, but Subaru's knowledge about constellations and the stars is quite impressive. Like, it is really impressive. But yeah, the exam question is talking about the story around the constellation, the star Shaula, rather than the individual. From the bird's eye view Subaru had of the monoliths, he realises that they're positioned the same way that the constellations of the stars are. And what we've gathered from ReZero's story at the moment, certain characters are named after the stars. Betelgeuse, Regulus. Subaru himself is also named after a star. But yeah, pretty much most of the witches cult are called after stars, including Shaula herself, of course. Like, there are many characters in this story that are named after stars. And, you know, in my personal theory is there's a big reason for this. I don't think it's just a cool little detail. I feel like there's a reason for this. And that's kind of why Subaru was able to beat Regulus, and that's because of the lore he knows about the stars. But yeah, I do think it's kind of cool that this detail has significance to the story. Like, it's not just to give these characters a cool name, but there's actual lore to it. But yeah, the exam wasn't talking about the individual Shaula in the room, but the story of the star Shaula. The story about a scorpion that got turned into a star, who stung and killed Orion, who got too caught up in his own ego. So Subaru was able to identify the answer based on the constellation shown, hence where he saw Orion's constellation. Subaru touches the correct slab with his newfound answer, and the room transports the group into the Great Pleiades library, as the episode ends there. And yeah, guys, that was episode 4 of ReZero. Kind of like I said before, kind of like a chill episode from what we saw in the previous 2 episodes. But I'm all here for it because we got quite a bit of lore. You know what I mean? We get to know more about Shaula. She's not as menacing as she appeared to be in the previous episodes. She kind of has like this upbeat kind of personality, especially when it comes to her master, who she thinks is Subaru. We got to know more about the Pleiades Tower. That they've got a spirit there that just, it has no will. The spirit has no will. Its just main purpose is to heal. Which I think is a nice perk to have in the tower, do you know what I mean? Just a spirit that just heals. It's kind of like a save point in a sense. Like a save room where you just get healed when you enter it. But yeah, we get to learn more about the Pleiades Tower. We also get to know about that its original purpose isn't just for Shaula to just snipe motherfuckers, but it's home to a library that contains most of the world's information. Like, it's a very important place. Hence why Flugel wants it to be protected so much. And why only, like, I guess certain individuals who are able to, I guess, prove themselves worthy of entering. Hence why Shaula, on Flugel's orders, was to kill any travellers, because this place holds information, like loads of information, important information about the world. But yeah, we get to learn more about that. We get to learn more, I guess, about Reed Estrella. Why Shaula was quite disgusted hearing his name. Like, this guy seems to be a fucking bully. And yeah, we get to see Subaru aura farm about his knowledge about constellations. And I'm sorry, the Subaru, this is common knowledge to Subaru, you know what I mean? He is so well informed about the constellations, the name of the stars, the lore with each star. Like, this guy aura farms knowing this. I don't even know this, you know what I mean? This is common knowledge to him. And it's just, I don't know why he knows information like this. I guess, I don't know if that's because it's common knowledge in this anime to Subaru only. Or maybe in the, you know what I mean, in the old world back before, he just looks up on this shit. Maybe he was just very interested in constellations. But let me just say, the fact he is very knowledgeable about the constellations, it saved him. The information he knows about the stars and the constellations, it saved him so many times. With Regulus, as an example, he realised Regulus's power based on his name, and that's because of the constellations, Lion's Heart. And I was like, you know what I mean? He's aura farming with this. He's passed this exam because of his knowledge of the stars and the constellations. And I'm pretty sure there's a part in season 1 as well when he was up against Betelgeuse. You know what I mean? I think there was a part where he also aura farmed his knowledge there as well. But I'm very impressed. I am very impressed. He's just well knowledgeable about the stars and the constellations, and it saved his ass many times through the story, and it might continue to save his ass as we go further on. But I just think that's a very cool detail. I like how the author of the story, he's put the constellations and the stars, and not only just given it as cool names to give the characters, but there's lore to it. There's lore used in the story. It helps Subaru a lot. I think it's just very cool. I just think it's very cool how Subaru's very knowledgeable on it as well. But yeah, overall, peak episode, honestly. Like, I know a lot of people watch ReZero because it's not afraid to go into dark. It's not dark, like, storytelling. It's not afraid to use gore at all. I know a lot of people fuck with that. But at the same time, I just love ReZero overall. Not because they're not scared to just go all in when it comes to fights, music, gore, dark storytelling, twists, turns. It's the lore. The ReZero world, even like today in the light novel, there's so much mystery. There's actually so much mystery. Like, why is Satella so still obsessed with Subari? Why did she bring Subaru into the world? Why is there a resemblance with Amelia and Satella? Um, Honestly, there's just so much mystery, and I love that because it's still yet to be explained. It makes people want to engage. I just love ReZero, man. But yeah, like, I'm all here for the lore as well. Do you know what I mean? I just love ReZero so much, and I'm its biggest Yeah, I'm one of the biggest glazers. Like, I will glaze ReZero to the end of time. Like, I'm so glad to be alive during a time period where ReZero exists, because honestly, it's such a good story, man. It is. And the fact it's still ongoing, like, we're being fed for years to come. We're being fed for years to come. But anyways, guys, that's all from me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and tell me down in the comment section down below how you find these type of videos. Whether you want me to do more of these videos with other animes. Let me know what you thought of the episode ReZero Season 4 overall. And yeah, honestly, thank you all so much for stopping by, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out and have a great rest of your day. See ya!